While we're waiting, Eric and I are going to sing a medley of Indigo Girls songs.
Oh, yes.
I spent 4 years
prostrate
to the higher minds. Got my paper and I was free.
All right,
Sound, okay. Hi, everybody.
Audio.
I'm a motherfucking troubleshooter. Alright, so...
our moral support.
His name is Patrick. And
sorry, Gabby, for giving you a fright. What a British way of saying it. Okay. Alright, we are going to start the show and cut out all this bullshit when the podcast actually goes live.
Don't do that.
We are going to start things off.
Sorry.
I'm going to record on GarageBand just as a backup, too. So hold on, everybody.
You're smart. Do that.
I'm worried that
There's plenty of
not everything's going to work.
Things disappeared or were recorded or the audio wasn't right.
I've never been a part of one of those.
Believe it or not, I never have been.
Yeah.
But I remember the one you're talking about. Good
No,
Lord.
it only happened like a couple times.
It has barely happened.
Yeah. Barely.
Barely.
Or was
Do
that
you want
one?
anyone to record also on their phone?
Yeah, I'll do.
On GarageBand on the phone.
Hello.
We got
Okay.
on Mars. We're gonna have a farmers market.
Okay, I believe we're also recording on here. All right, very good.
Good.
Hi, everybody. All right, we are starting the show with Mr. Eric Asperschlager here from New York to perform his song live back in 1990.
So back in 1990, it's coincidence really that the theme for the fest was 1990.
It worked out. You have this song in your back
I wrote
pocket.
the song about Princess Diana. It just happened. All right, here we go.
Theater of the mind. It's like we're in a coffee house. We should talk over it.
You'll have a chance to sing later. 30 years ago, things were so much easier. The world and love brought down the Berlin Wall. And all the movies that we saw were somehow better when we saw them at the mall. Turtle shell shone twice as bright. Graboids grabbed us in the night. Ponytail swung high and mighty. Everything was alright. Now we live in fear. It's getting hot in here. The end is drawing near. Before we disintegrate, bring back the clock and celebrate the films of yesteryear. If this movie fest is just the best, I bet you'd all agree. Back in 1990, I was just a kid, now I'm a grown up with a Twitter feed that I'm keeping just to read what everybody tweets this year. On this day we gathered here, a movie-loving fan community. Oh, and if this movie fest is all I need, when ninjas rule the world, Schwarzenegger's bicep curl, Al Pacino joined the Oscar race. Monster Subterranean, Steve Seagal posed with a gun, and Neeson grew a nose to spite his face. Everyone is welcome, so bring your friends to the Twitter Movie Festival you wish would never end. If this movie fest is still the best, I bet you'd all agree. Back in 1990, I was just a kid, now I'm a grown up with a Twitter feed that I'm keeping just to see what makes us laugh until we cry. If William Sadler stops by, can we get it trending higher than the latest dumpster fire?
So many.
And if this movie fest is all I need, so where everybody can join. Ready? Here we go.
Yep.
Alright.
If this movie fest is all I need, except for friends and family. If this movie fest is all we need, except for DVDs and love and air to breathe. This movie fest is all we need. Movie love for movie lovers makes us family. Song's immediately outdated. We'll never play it again. That was it.
We're all emotional now. We have to start every live show with a live performance.
Right?
So.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure, Eric.
Yeah,
Sorry.
now you start coming out every year.
Eric had to put up with Adam constantly heckling him during the song.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, look, I'm a professional. Sort of.
You don't mind coming in every week for this, right? This is cool.
Is there a pretty?
Welcome to the F This Movie Fest 2020 episode. My name is Patrick Bromley. We just finished all 6 movies from 1990. Those of you listening to us live, thank you for being here with us. Those of you who are listening to us after the fact, where the fuck were you? So let's go around and introduce ourselves very quickly. We'll start to my right with my beautiful wife.
Hi, I'm Erica.
Hi, it's Adam Risky.
Hi, it's Robin Buckley.
Rob DiGracino.
Adam Voss.
Rosalie Lewis.
Eric Asperschlager.
JB.
Jan B.
Yay! So this is a big deal because it's the first time that Robin has been live in the studio. So it's very Thank you,
They can
Robin.
see you waving. Imagine her waving.
Thank you, Robin and Dave, for making the trip out. Hi, say hi, Dave.
Hi,
Dave is here too. Robin's husband, Dave.
He's Eric's roadie.
You love the stuff.
And this is Rosalie's first time on the podcast. We're very lucky to have you guys. I want to just start the show by saying thank you to everyone who's here in the studio. Some of you who are not here, of course, Mark On, Doug,
Mike
Pomero, thank you, because this week at F This Movie, we got to run content from every single person. Doug was on the podcast, Eric did a song, all of you wrote amazing pieces, and it was really, really a great way to celebrate 1990 week. So thank all of you for being so amazing this week.
They were out. Everything was so great.
On to the fest. 6 movies from 1990. First was Tremors. Second was Ninja Turtles. Thank you. Third was Dick Tracy. Fourth was Hard to Kill. Fifth was Darkman. And finally, Total Recall, which we just wrapped up mere moments ago before going live. We want to give a quick shout out to Brian Biddle, to friendly neighborhood daddy man from Mutant Cafe, for his F These Cracker Jacks video. I see Mutant Cafe live in the chat. Hi guys.
Hi.
Thank you for doing that really, really cool video. Thank you, all of you who were with us today, tweeting along through 1 movie or 6 movies. I think this was like the biggest fest we've ever had.
We trended nationwide.
Yeah, which I don't think has ever happened.
We were neck and neck with the coronavirus.
Next year we'll beat them.
We overcame toilet paper shortage as well, which was
In the house.
In the
we had no toilet paper.
I've apologized several times.
Thankfully, there were 3 seashells sitting around.
Nice. Creative use of the seashell rotate.
Nice. That was like 4F this movie festival.
Yes,
Good
it was
job.
many.
Damn it, O'Hagan, give us the squares.
This is
Can't
what
even
this
talk.
podcast is going to be.
Yeah, right. I know. I can't even talk. I'm exhausted and just kind of drained, but like in a good way. This was really a special day for me. So thank you. Let's start out with everybody's favorite movie to tweet through. I'll go the other direction this time. So Jan, you're on the block first. What was your favorite movie to tweet through this year?
My favorite movie to tweet through was maybe Hard to Kill. My favorite movie to watch.
Ooh, I like this. Thank you for doing my job for me.
I particularly like Darkman this viewing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always loved Total Recall, but I gained a new appreciation for a movie I already liked in Darkman.
Ross in the chat has just said that we had just over 8,900 posts for F This Movie Fest right now.
Wow.
So if you guys could tweet another 100 times during this to get us to 9,000, I'd even like 10,000, but that's a lot to ask because some of you are running on fumes.
Listen, I have a lot of pictures I haven't posted yet, so I could just one picture per tweet.
Yeah.
Use the hashtag.
Do it.
Give the
J-Bones.
people the tweet.
Favorite movie to tweet through was Tremors, and favorite movie to watch was Dick Tracy, because I've never been the biggest fan, but today Dick Tracy was amazing, with one quibble, and her name is Madonna. But if you take all the Madonna stuff and cut it in half, you have a very, very good movie.
Madonna would not
short singer.
like being cut in half.
Yeah.
Well, that's a plot twist that Big Boy Caprice cuts her in.
What would that sound like, Adam? Wow.
Just yell at us. Yell at us.
I throw to you for Pacino.
Because it just so happens you have to be cut in half.
Happy in the one moment I wasn't listening.
I like that honesty, though.
pants.
Al Pacino telling Madonna he's going to cut her in half.
I think it would go a little something like this.
Why don't you scale it back a little bit? Maybe by 50 or 55%. Why talk to your girlfriend?
Alice in the chat room is saying that Dick Tracy would have been much better with a more accomplished actress playing Breathless. My issue with the Breathless character isn't that she's not an accomplished actress enough. It's that it's this one note, like,
Vampy.
I want to fuck. Like, okay, we get
And
it.
there's too much of her in terms of her being a supporting player. There's just too much of her.
Well,
Right.
Warren Beatty
I
really
think-
wanted to sleep with her. It worked. He did.
A lot.
Eric, how about you?
I think so. The first half, I guess, I tweeted probably a little more. So I'm gonna say Dick Tracy to tweet through
Okay.
because I say so. And then, and then I think I like both of the last couple movies a lot, but I'm gonna go with Darkman.
Darkman?
Yeah, I think that was
Dr. Peyton Darkman?
yes, Dr. Darkman,
Pate.
attorney-in-law.
Rosalie, how about you?
Favorite to tweet through was definitely Hard to Kill.
Yes.
Loved it. Had never seen it before. Only my third Seagal movie, I believe.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was super fun.
Do you remember the other two Seagulls?
I've seen Exit Wounds and Fire Down Below.
All right, where would you rank it with those three?
This is way above both of them.
Oh, wow, okay.
Way.
Nice.
Favorite movie to watch was Darkman, because I had not seen it before, but I
that's
also
right.
really loved revisiting Turtles.
Yes, nice. Okay, awesome. Adam, how about you?
Favorite one to tweet through was TMNT. I had a good
Okay.
time with that one because it was just, it was just a lot of fun to.
Weird that you picked the one that you were not here with us for.
I know, but I was watching
Focus
it.
even more.
Maybe that's why it was his favorite.
Favorite one to watch, man. I have not enjoyed Total Recall that much in a very long time. Just watching it with all of you and just like the feeling in here was so much fun, and I just never. I don't know. I've never seen it. Like, I forgot how crazy that movie is.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I was nervous about Total Recall as like the headliner movie because in the past the headliner has been like a no-brainer. It's been like Aliens or Back to the Future or
Jurassic Park
Ghostbusters,
or
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Those are obvious home runs. Not that Total Recall isn't great, but I just was nervous about how it would play. And you're right, it totally played, I think, better than it ever has. So that was awesome. Rob. Philly Rob. Handsome Rob.
John.
Rob John.
My favorite to watch this year was probably Darkman because it is a movie that, while I like a lot, I never had that viewing where I really like it clicks.
Yeah.
And I think this was for me the viewing where it really clicked. My favorite to tweet through was probably Dick Tracy because there were so many emotions in the room about Breathless, and also just obviously Pacino and stuff, and we were sort of energized. And at that point, that was what, the third movie, so we were we were broken in, we were in the groove, and we were going. So that was, I think, there was the most energy in the room, and probably online as well. But no, it was a great day.
Robin.
Favorite to tweet through was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it was the one I was probably most familiar with, and if I know it, I can make better jokes.
And the one you hate the most, you object to the most.
I don't object to the movie. I object to their existence as a creature. I kept that going the whole time. Throughout the entire night, I just kept going. Favorite movie is Tremors because I really, really love Tremors.
Yeah, Tremors
and
is perfect.
It was a good one to start with. It got me in the mood for this.
Yeah. Nice. Adam, somebody asked for Kelly Jo Minter as Breathless Mahoney.
I'll do it at the end of when I'm talking because I got to think of what Kelly Jo Minter would say. As Breathless Mahoney. Yeah.
What was your favorite to watch and favorite to tweet through?
Favorite to tweet through was Dick Tracy, just because we were a united front on Anti-Breathless Association. And then, and then favorite to watch. I mean, I just saw Hard to Kill for the first time last weekend because I didn't want this to be my first time watching it, and I thought it was like pretty good last weekend, but for some reason, like, this got the big bump for me.
Yeah.
And now and you were right, this is the way to watch Hard to Kill. So I don't know, I guess the most discovery was from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the best way to watch any Seagal movie.
I think that might be true.
Kelly Jo Minter as Breathless Mahoney.
So this is her singing Sooner or Later. She'd be like, Sooner or later, you're gonna be mine! Back in business! Hey, Graham!
Hey, Breathless, are you, what is it, blank face, no face? What is it?
I think it's no face.
The blank.
The blank?
I think it's the blank.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Breathless, are you the blank?
Yeah, I paired up with 88 Keys, and I'm like, hey, we can take over the city, nobody's gonna know. And I'm like, nobody can even tell who it is by my voice, because it's so indistinguishable from everybody else.
Who would recognize?
I have to go on record as saying I love Madonna as Breathless, and I might be the only one in this room to say that.
No, this is good.
I want to go on record and say, because some people thought we were hating like Madonna as just Madonna. It's like, oh no, we don't hate Madonna, but there was just. All right, well, I don't hate Madonna.
There was a
They were not loving the character of Breathless.
There was a very definite feeling in the room that we wanted Breathless to stop breathing.
It's just,
I see what he did there.
She's just in a different movie.
Yeah,
And
she just keeps showing up at these inopportune times that, like, always.
And everyone else is in this like squeaky clean throwback movie, and she keeps bringing the fuck. And it's
and then Warren Beatty keeps lathering her music over the montages.
I'm fine with that.
So,
Me too.
So it's even there.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. It's the single entendres and her climbing on his deck. What is going on? It's bananas. View my view.
Yeah.
Favorite to watch, favorite to tweet through.
So you really want me to pick just one for each?
I like to remember what we watched.
No more than 5. I know what we watched. I think my favorite to tweet through was Tremors, because it was first and I was just excited, and I hadn't seen the movie for a long time and I love it so much. And then favorite to watch, I'd never seen Darkman, so that was super exciting. I loved it. And then Total Recall too. You know I wasn't going to stop there. Total Recall is just, a lot of people were talking on Twitter about how crazy it is with this big budget and big stars and how it feels like those don't happen anymore. And it seems true, and that stinks because it was so great. So.
Yeah, it makes me nostalgic for a certain kind of blockbuster. Even the type of blockbuster that it was, I think, in 1990 is such a fluke.
Yeah,
that it was as successful as it is because it's the work of a crazy person.
But it's so entertaining.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, no, it's never not so entertaining.
It is so violent for a movie.
That's what's so great about Paul Verhoeven. He's
so not fun violent.
He's Dutch and crazy.
I remember the first time I saw Total Recall, I was taken aback by the violence, and I'm usually not, but it was like, Arnold's really machine gunning hundreds of people. And I thought they were going to get around that by having the final twist. But of course, there is no final twist. This is a Paul Verhoeven movie, and Arnold actually kills all those people.
Yeah. Or does he?
No, I mean the extras in the film. They were actually killed. The studio covered it up. But it's an open secret in Hollywood.
Carol Cole was real good at that.
Why do you think Carol Cole went out of business? It was the lawsuits.
Yeah. Too many murders.
You had to buy too many green caskets.
I feel like my favorite to watch is Dick Tracy, again, because of our exasperation and joy with Al Pacino. There was a moment.
It was so good. Yeah.
There was a moment with Al Pacino early on where he first takes over the club and is teaching the girls how to dance.
Oh my
gosh.
And Adam just started giggling, and it made me so happy to be watching it through Adam's eyes and enjoying the Al Pacino of it all.
The joy of performance.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
And
yes.
the Walnuts line put us all on the floor for some reason.
Yeah.
It's important to know that this is the same year as Godfather 3. It's the same year.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And he got nominated for an Oscar for this movie.
And not that one.
Not Godfather 3.
I also thought Rob was going to die when Steven Seagal jumped over a hedge.
Yes. Because there's a shot in Hard to Kill where he clearly, in context of the film, he jumps over a hedge, but it's shot at a flat angle, so you can't tell, and it's dark, so you can't tell there's a hedge there. So it looks like he just does a little bicycle kick in the air, which just fits the movie so well. I kind of lost it. I kind of fell.
Sometimes he just does that.
Yeah, I sort of fell over backwards and lost it for a few minutes.
We thought we might lose
when the Jeep hits that one henchman
Yeah.
and he does like a circus
If you're not sold on the movie by that point.
We were noticing all kinds of threads throughout all the films tonight. One was great henchman clothing. One was just the sheer number of walls, barriers, fences, windows,
glass,
like that were just people were either thrown through or vehicles went through or just like the roof and tremors collapsing. Like the number of just structure that was destroyed in this marathon, I think might have been more than any we've.
Don't you
I
think
think
that
glass is every year? I feel like.
Well, yeah, but
just like when I watch a bunch of movies, they're all like they just. Glass is broken constantly.
Yeah.
Like movies would not exist without broken glass.
A lot of long falls, though.
Don't
a lot of falling.
Especially,
Don't you think the broken barriers, though, are just a metaphor for the aperture of the lens?
That's what you're here for.
We're in the new decade, 89 to 90.
Exactly.
This movie Fast 9, breaking the fourth wall.
The gaze of the viewer.
Yeah. What was the opening? Which movie opened with the eye?
All of them.
And I was like, Jen, Blade Runner!
Yes.
Was that Darkman?
Yeah, it was Darkman.
It was like a Blade Runner shot with the eye opening.
I remember seeing Dick Tracy. I remember seeing all of these movies theatrically, except for Hard to Kill. I had to rent that one. But I saw Dick Tracy the day it opened, and I did this thing where you could buy a T-shirt ahead of time that it was like the Dick Tracy logo in a ticket. And you could wear that T-shirt to the theater, and that's your ticket to get into the movie.
Nice.
So you got a T-shirt and a ticket out of it. And I so desperately wanted Dick Tracy to be the new Batman,
I thought it was going to be.
it isn't.
It tried.
But I saw it a couple times that summer because then when it came to the second run theater, I kept going back.
You had the shirt.
I had the shirt. I might as well.
Wait, every time you wore the shirt, did they let you in?
No,
for
I think
free?
just the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how they would know really, but I think you had to wear it to like the opening day or something.
So rip the shirt in half.
It was cold and embarrassing to sit through it.
And that's why to this day, Patrick Bromley wears the half shirt.
Yeah. The shirt
Only
so-
crop tops,
so
right?
recall.
And they didn't give him back the half of the shirt with the theater number, so that was very confusing.
right.
They kept that half.
I like Dick Tracy so much more as an adult. I still don't love it as a narrative, but as a kid, I couldn't appreciate the cast because that's not the cast of a kid's movie. That's every actor from the 70s, where now as an adult, you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. But as a kid, I wasn't like, look, there's Jimmy Caan! And I can appreciate the production design so much more. It's incredible. I wish I liked the story a little bit more. But that made it really fun to watch today. And my favorite to tweet through was definitely Hard to Kill. It was the total dark horse this year. I don't know why. Tremors, it took me a little while to warm up. Not to the movie, but just like, I get overwhelmed in the first movie every year because it's just like, and go, and there's hundreds of tweets.
It's been years now where the first thing you'll say once we start, it's about 2.5 minutes in, you'll be like, can't keep up. Lost. Behind already.
And there were moments where I just gave up trying, and I would just watch the movie for a little while, which is kind of nice. It's kind of a nice break. I try to go back and read what people are writing, but some of that gold I just have to let go. But yeah, Hard to Kill isn't like the Seagal movie I've seen the most. It's not my favorite Seagal movie. But holy shit, did it play today. We just were all having the best time with it.
It's interesting, like, he's very sincere in a way in the movie that he's not in some of his other ones.
When is he not sincere?
I think sometimes he's so sincere that we mistake it for a kind of cool, detached irony. He goes all the way back across the spectrum.
And we needed like a dumb action movie in the lineup, because there was it's all genre movies, but we needed an action movie in the lineup. And Marked for Death came out this same year, and I was saying to somebody on Twitter that like Marked for Death is probably a better movie in terms of its construction because it's made by Dwight H. Little, and he's my boy. But it's also deeply racist, and and there was no William Sadler, who was nice enough to tag in for just a couple of minutes. Yeah, that was very exciting. Every once in a while, we get a celebrity stop by.
He is so great. He has stopped by before.
He's not in much of the movie.
No.
I remembered him being in more of it. But maybe I was thinking of Die Hard too.
He's in all of our hearts.
With the little bit that he is, you can take to the bank.
You know what? Take it to the.
He was in that.
It's the blood bank.
Oh yeah.
Blood bank.
He was in that sweet hot tub scene.
That was a good scene.
I was really into. Rose and I were really into that. I genuinely asked, like, what happened to that big painting that's in the scene?
Which big painting? Because the big painting I wanted was the one in the Storm household.
Of the family.
Early on. It's a painting of Seagal and his wife.
Oh, this is in Sadler's place, and it's like a campaign poster / Andy Warhol.
Yeah. Giant.
What if we get both and just make a Hard to Kill room?
Yes, sure. Which room should be our Hard to Kill room?
All of them?
You should make a panic room.
Okay.
Okay.
We should also note we were talking a little bit about the excellent year for practical effects that it was. Starting, I mean, obviously with Tremors, but specifically the Turtles outfits.
Mm-hmm. They were amazing.
If those don't work, that whole movie does not work.
And they work.
They work.
Really
they still
well.
hold up now.
The expressions on their faces were very touching at some points.
Yeah.
So I watched that one with my son, and he had never seen. And he's never really been into Ninja Turtles, and then and he was walking by, and he was like, I don't want to watch this, and right as I knew the Turtles were going to come in, I called him over, and I was like, hey, come and look at this, and they were on the screen for like a minute and he was hooked. He was like, whoa, and like was totally into it. So that was fun to watch it with him.
Robin, how do you feel about the turtle suits as somebody who objects to their very existence?
As someone who objects to the species.
I mean, they're very realistic in the way that I think they actually just have mutant turtles.
Right.
They filmed.
Yeah,
I don't think there's people in those suits. No, they're just a creature.
They should be beaks.
To be prepared to defeat them.
What about giant rat?
Oh no, I don't like that
No,
either.
okay.
No.
I just imagine them making that this year, and it's like they have their own YouTube show. It's
Right.
like part of the post credits and everything.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Did Corey Feldman go all the way through 3?
No, he just did the first one.
He's not even in 2?
No.
My memory was that he was in 2.
No, just the first one.
And in 2, they can't use any weapons.
Yep. Right. So they're using like
They made it more
sausage links
kid-friendly.
and inflatable
Right.
toys. Yeah.
Robin thinks the whole thing should be called Teenage Affront to Nature.
Yes.
What are we doing? We're looking. Oh, hi. We're looking over at Dave for a picture.
Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Thanks, Dave. Make sure you guys, if you want to ask questions in the chat, please feel free. We're all exhausted and we can't come up with that much to say. So, by all means, ask questions in the chat if you have questions. Like the fact that Robin is a mutinist, which I think is...
How do you feel about the mutants in Total Recall?
Yeah. This wasn't your day, was it?
The weird
Just
baby.
saying, Cohagen had, some good points.
Listen, we finally found someone who sides with Cohagen.
You have a future in politics in an X-Men movie.
Yes.
We got like Brian Cox and X2 over
Probably Striker.
there. Yeah, Striker. There you go.
Turtles should not be standing upright.
What are these movies, besides practical effects, what do these movies... all right. We'll come back to your question, Daniel Epler. What do these movies say about 1990?
I think that Dick Tracy says that everybody wanted to be like Batman. I think, like, with listening to that soundtrack, I'm like, oh, this is a lot like the Batman song.
Yeah.
Even, like, that shot where Dick Tracy, like, comes in through the skylight. It's
Wearing
that
a
same,
cape?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
basically,
it's the same
yeah.
thing. So, yeah.
And then Al Pacino was like, where does he get those wonderful toys?
Well, wait, do you mean Darkman or Tracy? Because there's a shot in Tracy.
Both do.
And it's
They
like,
both do it.
that's the shot.
And they both have the Danny Elfman score, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1990, what it's saying about it was great flowing robes as well. The
Yeah. Oh, loose
Tracy
clothing.
and Darkman both had
Loose
like great
clothing.
coats. Shredder had that sort of that spiky
Sure.
overcoat
All the
thing.
women had the same exact hairstyle.
The
Yes.
same
Same curly
hairstyle.
hairstyle.
Yeah,
They
those
just
perms.
Yes.
Obsessed with the loose sleeveless shirt.
Sleeveless shirts early on, yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah.
didn't go.
We didn't end up going
Sleeveless,
sleeveless. I was
Sleeveless
totally
Mahoney.
sleeveless.
Yeah.
A lot of vests.
Yeah.
A lot of vests.
I thought, like, even though the movies were commercial, they weren't, like, independent, really, or anything, but, they were very idiosyncratic, in a way. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like how now a blockbuster's, like, we have to hit the 4 quadrants, and it has to be, like, for international and domestic and everything like that. This felt like a few people had a crazy idea, and it's like, are you in or are you out?
Yeah.
And it was kind of appealing about
All six
Yeah.
are quirky
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
weird
Yeah,
in a
that's-
way you wouldn't
yeah.
get
Yeah.
now.
No, not at all. Nobody would take a chance on a movie like Darkman
Right.
Yeah.
or like Dick Tracy. Although it is interesting that Sam Raimi was able to take so much of that Darkman sensibility. You watch it and you can see such a warm-up for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The scene where Frances McDormand is falling and Darkman swings down and catches her. It's like, oh, this clearly got him the job, right? I'm just kidding. For love of the game, got him.
The movie where Costner insisted on showing his dick, and they were like, "No."
That was a poor choice on
Yeah.
their part.
Pacino actually.
Did they really say no?
Yeah, like he wanted,
No.
he just wanted to show his dick, but they were like,
Or
"We
maybe
have to deliver a
outtakes.
PG-13," and he's like, "But it's a respectable dick."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's not
It's
a
an
dick."
Academy Award-winning dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have to be so nice.
Yeah.
You don't want to dance with
Long.
If I Google Costner
She's broken hearted.
penis, what will come up?
Pacino.
He's like, You've heard of director's cuts, but what about a Dick Shower's cut?
Pacino wanted to show his, but that's just because he was confused about the title of the movie he was in.
Dick Tracy. Daniel Epler asked if any movies didn't work for us.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. You can admit it.
No.
I honestly have never disliked any film that you have chosen for these festivals.
You have to say that. You're married.
No, I don't have to say that. I would have just sat here and not said anything at all.
I might argue that these were the 6 most entertaining because at one point a friend of ours said, "What's wrong? I'm not getting JB's tweets," and the answer to that was because I'm not tweeting anywhere near as much as I usually do because I'm enjoying the movies.
Right. That was Dina. Hi, Dina.
Yeah, I mean, the part of it with these fests is that either the movies are great and they're fun to tweet through because they're great, or even if you're not having a good time, it's still entertaining enough that you can tweet through and maybe poke a little fun, even though it's all in good fun. But as long as it lands on that spectrum where it is fun to have a conversation about it,
right?
Then it's all.
And that's one thing that I'm always considerate of is like what movie will play in this type of setting. Because there's better movies that came out in 1990 than some of the ones we watch today.
Right.
But they're not right for this kind of setting.
Mm-hmm. I think that people who have been around... I think people who've been around for a while and who know at this movie and know what we're all about, understand that and get that. But I do wonder if sometimes, someone who doesn't have a history with the site or with this fest specifically, it's how come they're not showing Goodfellas? It's well, because that's not a movie that works for this, even though we're all going to watch it tomorrow, right?
And sometimes availability is an issue.
Oh, yeah, right. That's something that Patrick
Pump Up
really
the Volume
takes...
was something that was considered, but you can't watch it. Paul Calvert asks, how close was Gremlins 2 to being in the fest? It was very close.
Yeah.
Because that would be a great movie to tweet through.
Yeah. I mentioned Arachnophobia, and you had a reason to
because
not include
Tremors...
that.
I feel like Tremors checks that same box.
Right.
There was a question that I wanted to ask. Jack C. wanted to ask a favorite performance of the day.
Oh my gosh.
So Dustin Hoffman and Dick Tracy.
Dustin Hoffman, really?
No, seriously. I think it's so funny and proof, like what we used to say about Brad Pitt. Dustin Hoffman is a character actor. He never should have become a leading man. He's a character actor.
Though.
Sphere begs to differ.
Or what is it? Outbreak.
Yes.
I find his mumbles hilarious. Even to the tweets during the movie. Why are Dustin Hoffman's pants off? And we had the little discussion about why that is.
The answer?
Because
furiously masturbating.
Because he's a method actor, and he said, "Well, if I'm going to embody Mumbles is pantsless."
Yeah. Mine might be, I don't know, either Kevin Bacon in Tremors, or Larry Drake in Darkman. I love both of those a lot.
Can I just add? I was going to say Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon together.
Yeah.
Of course you choose a tie.
Everyone,
teamwork.
Everyone in Tremors is at the top of their game.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yes.
Just the top. How did Reba McEntire not get in more movies? Or did I just miss all the movies
she had a very popular sitcom for years.
Yeah, which is actually pretty good.
I've never seen it.
Because of Reba.
Did she shoot guns at graboids?
Not enough.
Not interested.
They were so natural together and just seemed like... Yeah, I don't know. They were so enjoyable to watch.
The humor of those two performances, I think, is a difficult spot to hit because they're very funny, but Gross and McEntire are not making fun of them.
Right.
It's funny because they're committing to the bit.
Right.
I also thought
magazine.
I also thought the kid in Dick Tracy was really good. Yeah. Not as mannered as some Hollywood kids are sometimes, and just so urchiny and spunky and
like his first line is like, "What are you going to suck an egg?"
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say,
come on, Tracy, let's go.
Korsmo's dialogue in Dick Tracy is much better than the average kid's dialogue in any movie.
But he sells it, and that's not always easy to do for a kid. I would say Arnold was my favorite performance.
Yeah,
I think that's one of his best. Yeah. You know, he does get the cheesy lines sometimes, but it's still like a movie where you empathize with him, and that's kind of unusual for like a muscle-bound Arnold. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I think, like, was it Kevin Clash who does Splinter? I'm not kidding.
Why are you bringing up Kevin Clash?
Oh, does he have a problem?
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right. Then I.
Well, so does Dustin Hoffman. So, you know,
I didn't know that was him.
Off the wrist.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's
Never
fine.
mind.
You can still talk about him. It's fine.
I just mean that, like, Splinter is, like, really well acted in that movie in between the puppetry and the voice performance,
and he
like,
was one of the puppeteers. If you watch the end credits, he was.
Yeah, and you really care, like, about him and about the turtles rescuing him, and I think that movie's so much more. I don't know. It has, like, more emotional heft than it ever should. At least for me. So I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up somebody.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It strikes such a weird balance because we were watching the end and Shredder shows up and the turtles go in to fight Shredder, and we've seen the dark and gloomy of this. We've seen the Avengers Endgame type thing when you see these costumes and stuff. But just reflecting back on stuff that we saw when we were younger, like the movie is grimy. Like I think one of the Bromleys said something about like I love. You said that's something I love movies that are. Family movies that are dirty or something like that, like where
Someone said that, yeah.
where the actual environment, like
during
it's like that dirty New York City kind of thing. But the movie's tone is not like the movie takes itself seriously, but it's not. It strikes a really good balance of family friendly, but also there are stakes and there are.
Well, I was kind of joking when I said it because for the life of me, I can't figure out how that movie made as much money as it did because it's unpleasant to look at. Except for the turtle suits.
Yeah, I mean, we're joking or not, I think it does kind of fall into that where it strikes a good balance because it doesn't necessarily have to go overly grim dark, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though
all the movies like seemed pretty lived in too.
Yeah.
Like
especially Hard to Kill because he was in that coma.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
That coma beard was really.
By the way, that's my answer.
Like
my
you knew
favorite
before the movie,
Seagal.
they were monitoring the Oscars
Seagal
in
was-
1982/83. Like they were heavily invested in this. Damn it! I got to do a stakeout the night of the Oscars. Good thing I
so
caught
many
the Globes.
Seagal Oscar jokes.
Robin, you want to do yours?
Well, I don't know. Are you,
You
gonna
should
go?
go.
I'm
No,
gonna
I want
say
you to go.
I don't want to take yours. If
Do it.
there's,
Do it.
well, no, I'm gonna go with Sharon Stone.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Sharon
Okay.
Stone.
Wow.
Not
All right.
only was
Great
she
answer.
just like damn hot, but
I didn't notice.
but she was also so mean, but kind of funny. And I
Yes.
was like, I wanted, as much as I wanted less of Breathless, I wanted more of Sharon Stone.
Imagine if Sharon Stone was breathless.
Yes,
I'd
that
be
would
into
have been
that.
interesting.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You can
I could actually
see
see that.
how
Yes.
Paul Verhoeven worked with her and was like, "Oh, I want to build a movie around her."
Mhm.
Like, because that's basically who she's playing in Basic Instinct. It's like, let's give her own movie. Yeah, that's a great answer. Adam, what was yours?
It's
We
Seagal.
talked over yours. Seagal.
Yeah, Seagal. I like. He's so hard to like in so many.
That was the
movies.
original title of the movie.
It's very hard to like, but yeah, he's so
Hard to cancel.
that's like the when I think of Seagal, like that's the one. Like he's so fun in that movie. So like as in fun to make fun of also. So
Rob, do you have a different answer?
It would either be Kevin Bacon in Tremors or Pacino. I do want to throw out real quick, just speaking of Tremors, Stephanie Crawford, our friend, had a really good tweet earlier in the day. She said a big part of why Tremors works so well is that it's a group of people having to come up with a solution after solution very quickly. The script doesn't force them to be unreasonably stupid to make the monster scary.
Yes.
I thought that was a really great
Yeah.
observation.
Yeah.
About,
Yes.
like,
Absolutely.
how Tremors is brilliant in its simplicity. You know,
Right.
like somebody else mentioned, like it's just a game of the floor is lava.
That was great. I was
anyway,
glad
I
my
thought
kids were there for
Stephanie
that
had a really good
What
observation earlier. I want to
what
throw
I
that out there.
love
Yeah.
about that movie is that they don't feel the need to explain like where they're coming from.
doesn't
Like
matter.
all of a sudden they're here, let's deal with the
Right,
situation.
right.
Like I love it about that movie.
Yeah.
You didn't want there to be like a flashback scene
Not
shot
at
at 8
all.
millimeter.
I need to have a flashback of what happened 15 minutes ago. 15 minutes.
What causes the graboids
Yeah, like-
is midichlorians.
Yeah.
You had to ruin it, didn't you? Thank you.
Eric, do you have a favorite performance?
I was going to say Schwarzenegger too. I mean, part of it I think might be the last night Rob and Adam and I went to see Last Action Hero, And so I got to see, two sides of Schwarzenegger.
Three sides, really, because he plays two characters.
Exactly. In fact, 4 sides, because he plays
a whole other stuff. Yeah, oh my gosh.
So, 4 performances of Schwarzenegger, I'm just, washed over me.
You're like, who are you?
I'm just regular who I am anymore.
If I'm not me, who the hell am I?
It's a question I ask myself every day.
Not to be.
So
that's right. He plays Hamlet.
He plays Hamlet too. Shit.
So is it alright if I pose a question? I'd like to know you guys.
Absolutely.
Okay. So every time we do this at this movie fest, there's always like a movie we watch where it's something that maybe I've revisited or something, and that it's a moment in a movie that I didn't notice before. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering if there's any of those moments for you guys.
Really important. I forgot that the 3 boobs showed up more than one time. So that was fun.
You think that was something you remember?
Yeah. I know, right? I was just
most
so
of us
shocked by
remember.
the first one.
Yeah, we all remember.
I was just my memory was just that one moment, but we got to see it more than once.
One of the shirts in the running for Erica was a 3 boob shirt. But,
I really liked the 3 boob shirt,
it.
but I can't wear it to work, and
What did it say?
It said 3 boobs. No, I don't remember.
It
said something in line from the movie,
wish I had
right?
3 hands.
So original.
Yeah.
3 boobs. That's a little fun to know.
I had a hard time picking my Total Recall shirt, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple, like 2 weeks was in the running.
2 weeks was a good shirt.
Yeah, that was a good shirt.
Give it up for Erica's shirts, though.
Thanks.
Currently wearing a directed by Sam Raimi shirt.
Yeah, I had to put the sweatshirt back on because it was a little bit cold. But.
Did anybody not answer the favorite performance thing, and then we'll go back to Adams?
Yeah. I thought.
I never saw Madonna spit accidentally.
Oh yeah,
in Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. Okay.
I chalk it up to HD. But
okay.
Well, and I think everybody missed after when they kiss. They pull apart, and there was a tiny string of it for like a second. The saliva.
Yeah, very
not as hot.
They were teaching each other how to kiss?
I think Breathless was teaching him, actually.
Yeah. All I can think is I hope they wash their hands.
Yeah.
Don't
touch
touching
their face in this movie. I didn't make the connection of the. It's a clock tower at the end of Dick Tracy, right? Or
it's a bridge.
A bridge. Right. The mechanism.
It's a clock tower.
Very reminiscent of Batman, where it's very much staged kind of the same way. So that I didn't pick up on that last time I watched Dick Tracy.
I didn't remember that the Mars portion of Total Recall is like shorter than I remember it being. It's a little more direct. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's been a while.
The coffee stain.
Anybody else?
I didn't remember that there was atmosphere at the end of Total Recall. I thought they were just on Mars in like spacesuits, and they were saying the whole thing about "I hope this isn't a dream. Will kiss me before you wake up" and stuff. For some reason,
and they just
I
knock
always
their
remember.
face
I just remember that as like clanking masks or something. I don't know why.
We should go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the beginning. You remember the beginning as the end.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
In previous viewings of Dick Tracy, it never struck me until today, the scene we were talking about where Pacino is directing the Chorus Girls. Yeah. What a comic turn that is in terms of him knowing the song and the choreography, and it's like Richard III as a Broadway choreographer.
He starts dancing at the end of it.
Oh yeah!
Oh shit!
It's clear he wants to be in the show.
Yeah.
It's like if Tony Soprano hopped up on them stripper poles. You know?
Bada bing.
Which would have been season 7.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. That's what happens.
That's what happens after it cuts.
Yeah.
After it goes
That's what happens. Yeah.
It just cuts.
Ross asks, "Isn't next year going to be the 10th F This Movie Fest? Anything special planned?" The answer is yes, and I don't know. I'm not done with this one yet.
the one question Patrick hates more than anything else on these nights is next year. What are we
doing
next year?
It's going to be the movies of 2021.
It's so hard not to think about it, though, because you come off of this and it's so fun, and it goes by so fast. This is the fastest it's ever gone by to me.
It just flies.
Like, it flew by. It's just the best. But yeah, so it ends, and you're just like, oh... it's like gives you something to look forward to, right? Isn't there a study that shows that planning a trip or planning a vacation, even if you don't take it, actually increases your mood or makes you feel better or something?
Yeah.
So like we just want to plan the next F This Movie Fest way before it's even going to happen.
What if you picked a different movie from every year that we've done so far?
Oh my gosh.
One that we hadn't done from like every other year. So there's like 10 movies. And
so I've thought about doing like a best of and doing a movie from.
I wasn't the best of, but you could do that.
I want to
doing
know
like
in the comments.
6 movies, but that we've watched before from different years. And I've thought about repeating a year, but doing different movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Ross says, I feel like you have your ideas early. Trust me, I don't.
Okay, Ross, I always feel like he does too, and I live with him, but then he doesn't.
It'll usually be around like January. I'll be like, hey, at this movie fest?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And we're kind of running out of years. I know there's been lots of years of movies, but again, for a certain kind of movie,
right?
Yeah.
The 80s and part of the 90s are the sweet spot.
Right.
And we've done 9 of those already.
I was thinking a lot about that when you guys have been doing the 9 from 99 show, things like that. A lot of the 90s lately. I also just got done reading the Best Movie Year Ever book that you and Adam both recommended. And you're right in that, like, I was like, oh, we just go into the 90s. So like 95, 97, 99. It's like, yeah, but they're not the same. It's not the same kind of movie. It's not.
I think 95 is like the last.
Yeah, it's not the same genre sensibility. It's not the same structure. It's not the same personalities. Like, it's so much more of that indie boom, and maybe you pick it back up in the early 2000s. But you're right.
Not really.
It's not. Yeah, there's really.
Believe me, I've looked at other years.
War dramas.
I like it.
Yeah,
Doug will be all about it.
Yes, but then he'll be like, "Wait, we can't tweet during this."
Next year, we watch English Patient 6 times in a row.
Not a bad idea.
And by the 6th time, like,
you know what? Each
everyone
time
is.
we can watch it with a different
It's like, what did you notice on the 6th one that you didn't notice on the first 5?
No, but like if you were to watch that 6 times in a row, you would be insane by the end of it, and people would just be tweeting out lunacy.
It is
Watch the
interesting
English
that.
Patient in 6 different languages.
Interesting.
Michael
Find out
Scott.
how many different ways you can say I'm a nurse.
Oh, speaking of nurses, wait, let's get back to that. But Michael Scott.
Get out of my head.
Erica Bradley, queen of transitions.
You go into stream of consciousness every once in a while.
I do.
Whatever the first thing that came to
There was an important nurse today in the movie.
There was.
More than one. Massage nurse.
Oh, yes.
Massagers is my favorite.
Yes. No, I was just going to say, though, in the comments, Michael Scott and Paul Calvert both said something. Well, Michael Scott just said 24-hour fest, and Paul Calvert said, this is eventually going to be a 24-hour marathon. We all know this in the back of our heads, and it cracks me up because, Patrick has written so many of those pieces that we absolutely have many that we could just do. We could just run them. But who would stick around for a 24-hour one? No one.
It will never be a 24-hour marathon.
I'm telling you, I will say something, though, as somebody who comes from out of town. Like, one, kind of what Erica was saying about, like, looking forward to something, obviously having something to look forward to, going on a trip or something like that. Adding the 6th movie this year and last year, it makes me happier because I'm like, cool, I get kind of more out of my trip. Like, I'm like, cool, another movie, like, I get more out of my trip, like, I get to do more things.
Yep. Right.
But also, it makes the day went faster.
I know.
Like, I don't know why. The last 2 years, for me, went faster than the first 2 years for some reason. Like, I don't know what it was, but for some reason, that extra movie, we were tweeting, and every time I looked at my clock on the computer, we were like an hour and 15 minutes into whatever movie we were watching.
Couldn't believe it, yes.
And I was like, oh my God, it's almost over. Like, how is this possible that it's going this fast?
You know what slows it down is being at a frozen pancake breakfast and looking at your Twitter and everybody's watching Tremors and you're like, God damn it!
Because you forgot to cook the pancakes.
Like, you didn't cook them.
Wait, what? Wait, which way do you mean? Was it with Anna and Elsa?
Yes, Anna and Elsa. Yes.
Why would you have frozen pancakes? That was my question.
Because they're delicious.
What if you did a 48-hour marathon? It starts with 48 hours, and then at the end you do another 48 hours, and you're like, guess what? 2 more days.
Wait, do you mean it's actually a 2 movie marathon of 48 hours and another 48 hours.
Yeah, and then you just drop in whenever you want. Continuously.
I think the longer,
like a paper
a 24-hour marathon would be really hard to do in the context of the tweeting and keeping it going.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Especially since Twitter eventually puts you on lockdown.
It's also important to note. It's also important to note to everybody at home that we're guests in the Bromley household, which will probably get very old for them eventually.
Yeah.
Is guests the right word?
Denizens of
Squatters?
Yeah,
Squatters.
Prisoners?
Prisoners.
It was dangerous for me walking here. A dog barked at me.
Oh yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, guys, it was really
Wait, do you have to
upsetting.
walk home now?
No,
Somebody
I
drive you. We can drive
I thought there was going to be a lot of cars.
Okay.
And like I walked here and I saw that there was like only 2 cars out on the street. And I was
Everyone
like,
was
"Damn it."
tweeting.
I know. I was like, son of a bitch.
Adam the dog smelled waffles.
That's what it was.
You just take the
Frozen.
waffles out of your pocket.
Here you go, boy.
What about 7 movies?
Nurses.
But see, I feel like before you get to that.
Six is
even, right? 6 is even, and again, they all have like a purpose. Like he plans this day like he makes mixtapes and how he used to make mixtapes all the time for me. And so it's very much like that high fidelity. Like there's a purpose to the opener and the closer and how they blah blah blah. And then really, I appreciate, I think, just for everybody, that you think about how people can access them again, because they're not all available.
6 is great. 6 is good. Let us thank him for our food.
6 is perfect.
And someone said in the comment, I think Sonia just said something about how the 6th, it just gives more opportunity to that people can come in and out if they can't stay the whole day, which is awesome. Yeah. So it's a perfect.
Having done it here and at home, I think 6 is good. I think 6 here is nice. I can't imagine starting earlier than we did, and I can't imagine going later than we have.
Right.
But I appreciated having like a decent amount of like space in between the movies, so you didn't have to immediately switch gears and keep going to the next thing.
Yeah,
sometimes that's
and Batman. Yeah, 6 is good.
Good knocks and Grant. It's because again we're not done after the 6th movie.
No.
We still do this part of it.
Right.
And then we're all still here. Like we have to, we talk and we say goodbye and
Let's have to clean.
we can, well, that's not going to happen.
It takes pictures.
I do like that it's like kind of. I really come to enjoy not only like for those of you listening at home, this has become an event.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I get to see Rob. I get to see Eric. I get to see I never get to see them, and they come in for like this. 2-3 days, and it's like, wow, we get to all hang out.
There were dinners.
Yeah.
This is our office holiday party.
This is our office retreat.
It lasts 3 days.
Yeah.
I force everyone to eat at Portillo's or tacos. There's
been a forcing.
Trial.
I did a PowerPoint presentation that we all had to...
Yeah.
Thank you for buying timeshares. I really appreciate it.
Patrick forced everyone to sign NDAs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We did a trust fall.
Yeah.
I'm a
I feel
regular
so close.
Bloomberg.
Jan dropped me. Yeah.
Where's
Feel so
the
close to everyone.
Sorry about that. I'm
Wait a minute.
Bloomberg minus the money.
We have 4, including Illinois, 4 different states represented here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And,
awesome.
it'd be-
it's so
I
fun
wish-
to have everybody here.
Yeah, I saw some people on Twitter today saying this, and then also in the comments, like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to rent out the music box or something? It's like, well, this is a little independent film site. We have no money. So that is like a dream that really...
Well,
I don't
and the
even know.
reason this started was because
Yeah, the whole point of
originally
it,
it was
yeah.
like, that would be fun for us all to convene in one place.
Right.
And then I realized that's not really possible. Like, A,
Right.
we can't afford to rent a place out. B, we're not going to ask people to travel. Besides you guys, of course. You guys get to travel. No, we're not going to start a GoFundMe, as somebody's suggesting in the comments.
No.
So I came up with this idea of putting it all online, and it's been very successful.
And still the only Twitter film festival in the world.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Bob does
I'm
the exact same
surprised.
thing, but
But it's not a
but we were doing it
film
first.
festival. We were, yeah.
If we were in a place watching movies, we wouldn't really be tweeting, man. I mean, there's no...
It'd be less
the
social.
point of the tweeting is because we're not all in one place.
Correct.
Which gives it a whole other layer.
Correct.
That because we're all nice, fun, interesting people, isn't just us, shitting on movies. It's us having a fun conversation and having fun and making jokes. But in a good way.
It should be something that people can do from the comfort of their
Absolutely.
bed.
Right.
You know, like
Especially this year.
I know.
Right, exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so tough with these things that you cancel. But yeah, and obviously this is different. We're watching old movies and stuff. But yeah, it's just fun that everyone can connect from being far away.
Yeah, there were people who got up crazy early just
Or stayed up all night.
Or stayed up all night.
South
So
Africa represented.
Right, our
Yeah.
friends
Thank
from South
you.
Africa, Finland, yep.
thank you for those fans who.
Thank you to our far-flung fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like
F is for
it's like
far-flung
it's
fan.
like movie love for movie lovers makes us family.
Oh.
So
I'm not
write
sure
that
who
down.
said that, but
Write that down, and then put chords on it.
yeah.
You should.
Wasn't that once in an Indigo Girls song?
Yes.
yes, I still.
Yes.
I think it's a girl song.
I think that's
I was actually
pronounced
it was an Indiegogo girl song. Did you say the same thing? Indiegogo
But look,
girl?
Well, Nico just said it's 7 a.m. here, so
That's
he's
like-
literally been
Oh my God,
Hey,
Nico!
Nico.
Thank you, Nico.
We're just about out of time. I got to give a shout out to, I think it's Grant Hurlbert, who's at P Terrible Things on Instagram for making amazing art once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, can
So
So
cool.
cool.
Look at that.
No
I mean,
joke. Can we get
he
prints?
should. Yes, I mean,
Yeah, I want one.
Grant, could you
I'm
make
sure
prints? We would buy them.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
It's
This year and last
cool.
year.
Yeah, last year too. Oh my gosh, just
If there's
so
a place where
incredible.
we can get prints of those, I will definitely buy
If
one.
you
I
guys
will
have
too.
not seen his Instagram page, definitely check it out. Again, he's at P Terrible Things. If you are not on Instagram, that's fine because whatever. But if you are, oh hi Grant, what? He's there, hi Grant. Oh my gosh, he's famous.
Gabby says it's 5:05 a.m., so she's been
What?
up all night.
Thank you.
You
Oh
guys
my
are
gosh.
monsters.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and follow up this movie on Instagram if you aren't. Hey, David Lando, Fifth Fest.
Woohoo.
Yes, that's so cool.
A commenter named Jeremiah said this was his first one. He loved it,
Welcome.
and he is gonna get more people involved next year.
Like that.
And I think that's what everybody should do.
Yes. Can I
Next
share
year
a
when we
quick
We
go
want
idea?
this to spread like a virus.
Ixnay.
Too soon.
Sneeze into your computer. Spread it that way. Wait, can I? You know what? I was thinking about that. My good friend Dina, who has tweeted along with us every year since the beginning, and my
Yay,
good friend
Dina.
Nora
Hi,
Kay,
Dina.
and Dina's
Yay.
friend Carolyn. This year they did not come to our basement. They often do. And they didn't come to our basement this year because they just kind of knew we were
Full
going to
house.
have more guests and stuff, and there wasn't enough room. So they were all at one other location in Chicago, and I just thought, well, that's a good idea. People to do local friends and whatever. Yeah, meet up and-
Satellite parties.
Satellite parties. And then maybe if that actually became a thing, we could figure out a way to get like a little recording from each satellite party and then put that on the podcast or do something with that. We could figure it out. Patrick is taking a deep breath. A deep breath. Again, we're just a little indie podcast. Yes. Eric will help us with the
Suffice
something.
it.
Rob, yes, thank you, Rob. See, we're problem
It would
solvers.
be a podcast / timeshare presentation.
Okay, Erica.
Who doesn't like to go on
Did you say everything you needed to about nurses?
Yeah, because
Sure.
Adam,
really
I
honest
never
with us
get to
every
say enough about nurses. Nurses are important. Nurses are so great. Let's think about all the great nurses we have. No, the nurse in the movie. We were talking about Kelly Brock.
Nursey.
Oh, okay.
Kelly Brock, yeah.
Nursey,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Nursey.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when I brought that up.
She was a special nurse.
Yeah, like
We had a
when
lot of
she
pent
was
up energy.
checking his
real
body
hands-on
out
coma.
while
I
he
think
was
it's
in a
just,
coma.
She wanted that dick.
What else? Yeah, a lot
She
of
brought him a
Sleep with
kitten.
a patient like that? I've never been a nurse, so I'm not sure.
right.
In general, or like that.
Yeah. I think you
I mean,
misinterpreted
later.
bedside manner.
And then no, it wasn't a nurse.
The regular
Later,
Florence Nightingale.
who was using the lotion and giving a
That was
sensual
Danny.
massage?
Danny, the physical therapist.
Yeah, okay.
That was
Gonna make you feel all right, man.
These aren't the appointments I've been having with
So if someone wakes up from a coma, the first thing you do is flip them on their stomach and start massaging their shoulders. Let me know.
Oh yeah.
Did they talk to people like when they were writing their script? Were they like,
Like,
so if somebody comes out of a coma, what's the first thing you're gonna do with them?
give them
Ooh.
Yeah, so you're gonna get this massage therapist in on this
Yeah.
right away.
Absolutely.
That's what Scott wanted.
Exactly.
I love that Sonia Mansfield just said that she will be the San Francisco location for the satellite viewing group. So we have San Francisco covered.
We need like precinct captains.
Yeah.
Right.
Do like meetups or something.
Regional meetups.
See, Cullen Reed is in satellite Bromley basements. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want somebody on down the street,
Down the street.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll do regional cons like Wizard World.
Any closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Nurses.
Just as one closing thought, I just want to make sure everybody knows that next year for the 10th, it will be super, super special, like nothing you've ever done before.
Thank you.
It's going to be really, really something completely unique
I appreciate all of this.
and
Mind-blowing.
special.
I would describe it as mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
It would be like meeting Jesus.
It would like that.
Would be
Like
level.
that.
It's going to be the same 6 movies, same time period, except Adam's going to jump the canyon.
All right.
It's going to be like meeting Jesus and not Steven Seagal coma Jesus.
Yeah.
I'll chime in to say thank you for having us here.
Yay.
Usually Dave's stuck working and I'm just laying on the couch by myself. Maybe one of my friends will come for a couple of movies to hang out. But it's mostly just me and my dog snoring. So this was a lot more fun.
Yay!
Just to have vacation, but also vacation and hang out with really, really awesome people.
Aww,
you too.
When Robin said she was coming, I was so excited, but I was like, just so you know, it really is a bunch of people in the dark in a basement, though, because I didn't want her to think it was cooler than it is, but it is pretty cool. Okay, yeah.
There's nothing cooler than it is.
Something that wasn't that, I'm like,
I'm not coming. Wait, what? We have to get up and
And when we weren't sure exactly how many people would be down here, I was thinking of volunteering our house as a satellite, and then after 3 movies, everyone would switch.
But no,
Including
it's
the
so
Bromleys. Get out of your house. Yes. Go over to JB's house.
Charlie's taking over.
It really is so fun having everybody here together, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It was great. It was very nice having you guys here this year. So thank you, Rob. You were going to say something. I'm sorry.
I don't think I was.
You weren't? Okay.
I was probably just going to agree with Rob.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Again?
Well, Rob, this is your fourth.
This is my fourth
time out.
Wow.
Okay.
which is very,
Has anything gotten better or
surreal.
worse? No, just has anything gotten worse?
I've gotten a lot worse.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
No,
glad
we
you
used
said
to do something that we don't anymore, and now you miss it. You're like, God, that first time they had this one snack, and they never have it anymore. Okay.
Someone in the comments asked about my cookies, and I didn't bake cookies this year
But
because
she
I
She brought sandwiches.
I did.
Lots brought sandwiches
No,
this
it's
year.
just
That was
made up.
great.
You had your
Jan's guacamole is the best guacamole.
I did make
in the world.
guacamole.
Yeah,
I
oh
just
my
did make
gosh,
guacamole.
Jan's amazing.
No, I'm very lucky to call everybody here friends, and so it's nice. As I said, it's sort of our office Christmas party or our holiday party, but it is also just like getting to actually see everybody in person and stuff is pretty great. And obviously, this year I got to meet Rosalie.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah.
for a couple of these people for the first time. So
And Eric, this was your second time.
Yeah,
Eric's-
I would
Anything?
also chime in. I would say first year you come in a little nervous, not nervous, but like
I was very handsy, and that was part of the issue.
and we talked about it. We had a few sessions with the
To
counselor.
be fair, you
We're
guys
fine.
have known each other
You
for a
just
really
gotta-
long time.
We have, but I mean, last year it was like the putting the faces to the
Right.
voices thing, which was
Yeah.
a little. It was fine, but it was a little weird. Now I feel more comfortable. I feel more confident.
performed live for
I
us.
know.
Live, and I think being here in the room is a very different experience from being at home. And everyone who's listening right now, I understand what they're feeling because like I remember soon, like you go all day. You got the movies. The last one's done. And then it's just like you're the graboid going off the cliff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
that's what we should end with is for the hangover, the F This Movie Fest hangover, because we're gonna go. And we've all experienced this, and some of us have experienced from home. We're going to cut off the show. Everybody who's following us live right now, some of you are like getting up for your day. Some of you are going to like try to go to sleep. But everybody's going to feel that high, that buzz of like, well, what do I do with myself now? Yeah. So what's one thing that we can recommend that people do?
Go
to close
straight
out?
to bed, but then take your phone under the covers.
Yes.
Put your head under the covers and go back and reread all like the tweets for the last 8 hours. Yeah. And like a whole bunch of extra stuff.
I think you should like take a nap for 2 hours, wake up, and then just sit in the sadness of knowing that was yesterday, and then you have to
no!
Because beautiful things are fragile, and we need to appreciate them as such.
Wow.
You're just like,
That's so dark.
I was going to say, I'm just going to go masturbate.
I didn't do all that.
Do you want to
That's a given.
at this movie fest
What
after
do I mean
dark?
when I say sit in sadness?
Because that was yesterday, and yesterday's gone.
Yeah.
We have to spring ahead tonight.
Who are we going to masturbate?
Do we really?
Yes, we have to spring ahead tonight.
Spring ahead is what I call masturbation. Our clocks are so fucked up.
I call it dick tracing. I don't know.
And so
If you
many
masturbate during daylight savings, does it even count?
I'm going to go to that hour where it's gone. I masturbated at 2 o'clock. There was no 2 o'clock.
Take that on leaves.
I like that we were family friendly the first 2/3 of the show.
Adam brought out the dick jokes.
No segue at all for this. But Rosalie, it's your first podcast appearance, but of course you're going to be back. But in first at this movie fest ever, right?
It is the first one.
Yes, because you were aware of the site before, but you weren't
as involved.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right.
It was amazing. So I've loved writing for the site. I've loved getting to know you guys. And it's interesting because I feel like, even though I have a lot of friends that like movies, we don't really get together very often. I'm sure you guys have all fallen into that trap of like people that you have things in common with, but your schedules don't line up, whatever. So it's really nice to have a day that's devoted to just catching up with friends and sharing that movie love. And it does feel really good. And it's great to have that kind of community. So I hope we can keep that going.
Yay. Someone posted on Twitter about just how awful Twitter is most of the time, and not all the time, but a lot of time. And lately, there's just been a lot of in the world. There's so many negative news stories now.
Do
You think so?
But right, I know. But somebody said
Wait, Twitter.com?
Twitter.com. Yes. Somebody just said that this is like what. I wish I could remember who said it too. That like something like this is what social media like really should be for, right? Because it really did
Watching movies communally?
Yes,
Yeah.
no, but it brought people together,
Seriously.
and whatever, it could be about anything, but like just to be positive and
It's
share
social
whatever. But
and media.
I'm so glad Rose is with us. We kept like seeing each other at events in the Chicago area, like movie things, and I finally was just like, "Hi, I see you everywhere," and she was probably like, "Oh gosh."
No, I was very excited.
No, and then I don't know. So we just like started talking, and I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know. It just.
I think it was
we just kept talking. Yeah, we just kept seeing each other at film events and kept talking. And then I found out she was a great writer, and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" So yeah, cool.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank all of you guys for being here. Thank all of you listening for being with us. Thank all of you listening who couldn't be with us today because you had to work or you had other commitments or whatever, but you're listening to this later in the week. Hopefully it sounds like something you wish you had been at, and next year you will join us for the 10th F This Movie Fest.
Does everybody know that the anniversary of F This Movie as a podcast and website is also this May, like the 10th anniversary?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if everybody knows that.
I don't know if everybody does
Tell
either,
them.
but
Officially tell them.
it's coming up this year. We
In
should
May.
do something, but I don't
Yeah.
know what. So,
If
anyway,
anyone has ideas for what we should do,
You should just like record
Message
a podcast
them.
and put it on like a Wednesday.
yeah, we might just do that.
Sure.
Maybe
It's
just
not about
not
movie
make a
of
big
some
deal out of it. That might be the way to go, too.
Sure.
I don't know.
that's fine.
But anyway, thank you guys very much, and we will talk to you next week.
Woohoo!
Zaza.
All right, so the show has stopped recording, but
Okay.
we're still broadcasting right
Oh,
now.
really?
So now we
Okay.
can say, now we can
Anything
air all the
butts.
dirty laundry.
Oh my God,
Yay.
butts? We're talking about butts?
Three boobies.
Rob
boobs.
is saying boobs and butts.
Hey, can I ask a question? Did anyone else watching these movies think that they saw the quickest shot of Sharon Stone's vagina?
That's all
Anyone
bad
else?
to me.
I did not.
I think that was
Frame by
wishful
frame.
thinking.
Yeah.
There it is. I see Cooter.
Oh wow!
Credits is that? What's the font? Like what actual Raimi movie is that from?
It might be Army of Darkness.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't sure.
To a Sadler painting I could find.
That's a sad. That puts the sad in sad.
Can you take a screenshot and post it on Twitter so the listeners know what you're talking about?
Could or will I?
It is worth noting real quick that Adam had his Twitter for the entire day this time.
Yeah, it worked.
Which was a problem the last couple of years.
Yeah. But thank you for helping me out those 2 years.
Josh.
Well, sure, I wasn't bringing it up for that reason.
I stopped being able to like things.
Yeah,
what the heck?
Just in general, just like in your life.
Oh yeah, no, I died inside about halfway through Darkman.
Yeah. There was the year where I was tweeting half the day on the wrong. I misspelled F this movie fast.
No!
The entire day
It's like a rival
just
fest.
tweeting myself.
That does not sound like something you would do.
Yeah, no. Fast would never do something like that. No type of fuck up like that has ever happened in my life.
Anyway, we should go, but I'll maybe just put Eric on the spot and ask you if you want to do another song.
Oh.
You want to do another one?
I thought you said Eric.
For the people listening?
The first, right? Like, what do you
Don't fall.
Don't fall.
Any song you like?
What would be a good at this movie kind of related one?
Tipsy hipsters.
Yeah, do you have Tipsy Hipsters?
I just wrote it this morning. I don't
Well,
know it well enough.
Tell the
You
story
just
about
wrote this morning and you're requesting
I
it?
don't know. Okay, right. So last night, like I said, Robin, Adam, and I went to Music Box to see Last Action Hero. It's late. And I no one told me. For years I heard happiest place on earth. You gotta go to Music Box. It's a 70mm film festival.
You see vaginas.
And no one said that. And we
Erica
went.
said that to me.
I had to get him out.
And there was a lot of cheering. There was a lot of laughing because it's a funny movie, and the laughing didn't stop, and the laughing kept going even when it wasn't funny, and then there was talking and giggling. Anyway, and there were a couple behind us who seemed like they were a little.
They were the main attraction.
Yeah, they were. They thought they were.
Yeah.
So before I went to bed, someone said something having fun, and I said, "Yeah, except for the tipsy hipsters." And I woke up after like 4 hours of sleep this morning, and tipsy hipsters came in my head, and then before I could even open my eyes, my brain was writing words. I can't do it now, but I will try to record something and make it available. Because I'll have no other use for that song other than within the context of that movie. So something will happen with that.
Can you do the Total Recall theme somebody's requesting?
No, I can't do the Total
Lots
Recall.
of requests for Turtle Power.
I can't do anyone else's songs. I've written other songs for this site.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember
tell you what,
any other F This Movie songs?
Can you do last year's theme?
Do you remember
Or like
it?
the twist?
It was more of
one of the Halloween songs.
Yeah, like the twist.
I could do I could do that. Do
you do PTO?
I could do the entire That's a Twist trilogy, but that would take too long.
Do what's in your heart.
I can't remember PCO. I could do a song that I wrote that I haven't put anywhere yet that I did for Halloween called Horror Fans.
Oh,
all
right.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember it goes down.
Everybody knows it's that time of year where you celebrate all the scary movies that we love. And boy, do we love them. So gather around in the flickering glow of the TV set where the DVDs are stacked like logs for the fire. What to watch? Everyone has a different favorite. Don't shout at once, we'll get to all of them, 'cause horror fans love everything. Every movie has its following. All the joy sorry brings those horror fans love everything. Monsters big and small, ghosts and zombie creeps, footage lost and found, made on the cheap. We eat them up like candy. Have you seen this obscure Italian flick that's banned in Spain and long since out of print? Horror fans love everything. Every movie has its following. Everyone lets out a joyous scream. Those horror fans love everything. And when they don't, I scratch my head, wonder what they're looking for. Why hate Blood Buffet Part 5 when you dug 1 through 4? Horror fans love everything. Every movie has its following. All the magic splattered on the screen. Those horror fans, horror fans, horror fans love everything. Everybody knows it's that time of year. Everybody knows it's that time of year.
What's that? It's a world premiere.
Very good.
Eric, where can everybody find your stuff?
Well, what stuff I put up is up on Eric, erich.bandcamp.com, and that has this year's F This Movie Fest song, last year's F This Movie Fest song, and the 3-song EP I put out with That's the Twist Again,
which I highly recommend.
And yeah, some other ones like that.
Yeah. All the Rage in My Pumpkin Pie.
That's right.
You're also playing a show tomorrow.
Well, there is an open mic at a local coffee shop here that I will go to, and they will at some point say, you can play a couple songs, and I'll play a couple songs.
And we will be there to cheer you on.
Yeah. They won't be F This Movie Fest songs, or F This Movie songs. They will be my, other songs. Mm-hmm. The ones that I play.
The ones that you write about your other movie group friends? Like,
yeah. I mean,
assholes.
They're all novelty songs in some ways.
Not these flicks.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Those assholes.
Yeah. You guys don't pay me enough for exclusivity.
Thank you guys for listening to the After Dark, and we'll see you guys again next year.
Thank you.
Yay. Thanks, everybody. Woo!
Well, that's what Wayne's World used to do when they got into it.
That's how we should have ended it, with us all singing.
Thanks for listening to F This Movie.